Today on the Roadhouse, I'm going to go over the 5 things I like and the 5 things I dislike about my KEEN Targhee 2 hiking shoes. Let's get this video started. I'm just going to go over the 5 things I like first. And one is that this is the best hiking shoe that I've ever had. I thought what I usually think is that you need a higher shoe in order to hike to protect your ankles and more stability by having a mid-high type boot or even a high type boot to protect the ankle. I was wrong on that with these shoe, and the reason why it's the best hiking shoe I've ever had is because of the grip. The first time, now granted, these are over 4 years old. The first time that I went hiking with these, the grip was spectacular. On the regular pavement, you really don't notice or anything, but once you get off-road and you're on uneven terrain like rocks and ledges and stuff like that, this shoe was amazing. The grip grabbed onto stuff, and I really can't say that I've ever had a hiking shoe, or I don't think I've ever had a hiking boot or hiking shoe that was made for hiking that was better made for hiking. The second thing I like about these hiking shoes is the comfort. Extremely comfortable. For the last 4 years, I have worn these 60% of the time as far as everyday type shoe. I am a cowboy boot guy, and these were so comfortable and were able to go places that my cowboy boots weren't, that I wore these a lot. Part of the reason why they're so comfortable is because it's got a huge toe box, and your feet they're not squunched together, they're not any of that type of stuff. And I know that you're gonna say, Remy, you're using the toe box thing from KEEN. KEEN uses toe box, that they've got a great toe box. And to tell you the truth, I am using that from KEEN, but I had never even heard of a toe box before. But it makes sense once you put these things on. Toe box, you can call it what you want. Front of the shoe, toe area, but toe box, that sounds pretty good. Sounds like it's pretty much what it is. And I was not at all uncomfortable with these things whatsoever, at all. Loved them. Toe box. The third thing that I like about these shoes is the armor for the toes. Now these are not Kevlar. They don't have the Kevlar system in them, but some of them do, not these. But the toe box up here, the front area here is armored. And I work on cars a lot. I'm a part owner in a side-by-side off-road rental company, and this type of stuff is A+ when you're working on stuff and you accidentally drop something, you stub your toe into something. This I like. Didn't think I'd like it. Didn't really like how it looked when I first got it, but I love it now. I don't think I can go away from the KEENs because of that. The fourth thing I like about the KEEN Targhee 2s, or Targhee 2s, Targhee 2s, I guess, is that they go with everything. Especially casual, they go with shorts, they go with almost anything. I've worn them with almost anything. I love them. I love them to death, actually. I love them to death. The fifth thing about these that I loved is that the shoestrings lasted 4 years. Now these are not the originals. I just replaced them probably a couple weeks ago when the original shoestrings gave out. But the shoestrings on these things, they were great. They were a little long for my tastes. On one of my shoes, I had to like double knot it in order to keep the loops from hitting the ground. But for the most part, those shoestrings lasted me 4 years. And I'm not friendly to these things whatsoever at all. I treat them terribly. 5 things that I dislike about these Targhee 2s. I had had these Targhee 2s for about 2 years before the sides started coming off. These started coming down a little bit, and I started having to use shoe goo on them. You can see some of the shoe goo there. And this is 4 years old. I'll get to that here in a second. But the front did not come off whatsoever at all, where the toe box is at. I love using that. I think I'm going to use it just to annoy those people that don't like it. But the grip here started coming off, and that's probably due to that being so exact. These things they come down and around, and they started coming off a little bit 2 years before it started happening. But I thought that was a little early for that to start happening. But I did wear the living tar out of these things. I was wearing them, like I said, probably 60% of the time. Love the heck out of these things. And I thought 2 years was too early for that to start happening. But I like the shoes so much, instead of just tossing them, I bought shoe goo for the first time in my whole entire life. Second thing that I disliked about these Targhee 2s was that the shoestrings, the original shoestrings, these aren't the originals, but the original shoestrings would keep coming undone. And I guess it's because they were so big, thick, and everything. These are kind of the same thing. That I wasn't able to like tie them and be done, and then wait till the end of the night and then take them off. These were the type of shoestrings that in these things that would last a couple hours, and you could feel them coming undone about these. And I don't know if it's true or not, but it kind of makes it look like it when you're wearing the shoe. When you're wearing the shoe, it kind of feels like the whole upper here, your foot is kind of like moving over towards the inside a little bit. It makes it feel like your toes are moving over here, and the sole still feels good and everything. It doesn't have any major I don't have any complaints about it, but it makes it feel like the inside is moving over here. Now granted, I probably didn't feel that until these things are probably about 3 years old. And like I said, I wore them all the time, so maybe the inside is giving out a little bit. It doesn't look like that from here, but I'll put them on, and before I put this video out, I'll insert a little video clip of how I feel when they're, I feel like they're on it's moving towards the outside, inside a little bit. Can't really tell with the other one. You can just a tad. They just seem to be a little bit over this way, a little bit. And if you look right here, you can see the shoe sole here, but you can't see it here. So maybe it's in my head, maybe it's not. Didn't seem to matter much, but you know, once it's getting older, now they're old as shit. So maybe that's why. And they're beat up as all heck. I use them for painting. I use them for every dang thing that there is here. I got the Roadhouse shop floor paint on them. I got paint from inside the house. I got everything on these things. Still very comfortable, even though they should have been tossed at least a year and a half ago, maybe. Okay. You can tell just a little bit. You can still see this side of the shoe sole and not the other side. Same thing here, just a little bit less pronounced, but I guess maybe a lot of it's in my head, but this one a little bit more than the other one. In the old days, I would have probably tossed these things a year and a half ago, but they're still extremely comfortable, even though they're beat up beyond all. And the stitching has come out over here, and that's why I'm doing a death video on these probably pretty soon. And final thing, because I don't really have 5 things that I dislike about these things, is the talons. And I went over it a little bit. I'm going to call them talons, where the grip comes all the way up the side of the shoe. Where it comes up, I've had to shoe goo these things, and you can see the shoe goo. Hell, right here. I've got the shoe goo on these things, and I've used the shoe goo probably 4 or 5 times because I do not want to throw these things away. I love these Keens. I've got a pair on order right now, the same ones. Probably because I know that these feel great. I've seen some of the new Keens where they don't have these little talons that come up here, but I don't know if they're going to feel as great. I don't know if they're going to grip as great. So I really want these shoes again. Now, in closing, I have nothing really terrible to say about these things. The worst thing I can say about them is these talon things. Why I've had to shoe goo these things back together 4 or 5, how many ever times. They're extremely comfortable. I really didn't have too much bad to say about them, and the only thing that I could say was that the inside of the shoes have stayed together. It's a little worn, but it hasn't ripped. Now the back here has ripped a little bit, but sometimes I'm just not friendly with these things, putting them on. I've treated these things extremely bad. I have not got wet with these. I have worn them in shallow water to where water has come up over here. Now I haven't worn them since that one. I haven't been in the water since this has ripped out, but water has not gotten in. And these are the KEEN Dries. I don't know if that probably has a lot to do with it, but I will tell you this. I ordered a pair exactly like this again. I will tell you that I have nothing bad to say about these things whatsoever at all. The best thing about them is the grip. If you're going to use them for hiking, amazing. Not having to stub your toe necessarily right here. These are, again, the non-Kevlar ones. Thank you for watching, liking, subscribing. If you have any more questions regarding this, leave them down in the comments. I'll leave a link to where I bought my new ones. Thank you all for watching once again, and as always, if you ride her hard, like I rode these, don't put them away wet. Leave these things out so they dry out if you do that. Thank you. I know poor Hank is getting old, but he comes out here still with me all the time to do videos. Yeah, I've got a bed for him in the shop underneath my desk, and he is still #1 partner out here. I'd like to congratulate my son and his woman Hannah for the birth of their daughter, Arabella Marie Remy. Congratulations and many great years with that little one. I'm a grandpa now.